Austin, and we'll shout out to the next rider. You can handle that one, Tim.
I'm sure Austin really appreciates that little clip on the way through. So look, let's have a look at Matteo Delcin.
Hey guys, so welcome to the stream. I'm going to cut straight over to the race coverage here. We're 4 minutes to start. Course is San Sequoias, and it's one of my favorite races on Zwift, so it should be a fun time. I can't remember how many laps it is. I think it's only like 20K, so it should be pretty spicy right from the gun. And thanks for tuning in.
First Warrior race, because this one's hard to get a top 10 in, but all the best to Matteo, and hanging in early, and let's see how he goes up that Titans Grove com.
Yeah, nice. And third athlete to highlight is a man who has joined us, I'm going to say, over 15 times in the Warrior race, is Mr. Dan Messina out of the USA. He's a veteran. He has done 292 races. So very, very experienced. Last 10 starts, 2 wins and a bronze. So getting on the podium a few times there as well. Dan represents the Natural Grocers team, and those guys have really pumped into this event, Tim. So looking forward to seeing a heap of those guys out there and coordinating their attacks as well. And he's always thereabouts when the stuff starts to go down, particularly up this com. So hopefully Dan can hold in that front pack, and always a really good performer in the Koa Warrior race, and has been top 10 over 3 or 4 times in the past. So good luck to those 3 gentlemen, and let's get down to the paddock after we have a look at the Stinger.
Jason's coming back over the top.
Righto, here we are in the paddock. So, yeah, quick shout out to last week's winner of the 90-day Zwift code. So if you enter the Koa Sports League during this broadcast, so over probably the next 35 minutes, you'll go in the running to win a 90-day Zwift code valued at 700 Australian dollars, Tim. And that gentleman last week was by the name of Brett Gardner. So welcome.
It's not 700 bucks.
Welcome, Brett, to the league.
It's 3 months. I think it's about 70 bucks, but it's pretty solid anyway.
So welcome to the league, Brett. And we are going to do it again tonight, Tim. So definitely get involved and get registered, and you go into the draw tomorrow.
Yeah, 34 seconds here to go to race start, so expect to see some big attacks early, and a big attrition, as we say. That pack will get stretched out as we go through. So we'll stick with A grade at the start, and then we'll start to work our way back through the field as we go through the sand section to try and cover off as many riders as we can. So welcome along for the first time if you're viewing. Get involved on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and shout out to Nathan Guerra at Zwift Community Live, giving us the support and the opportunity to bring these races to you guys.
Yeah, we're going to highlight a few comments as well that come through on the Koa Sports page too on Facebook, yes. Tim. So if you've got any funny stuff or comments, shout outs for riders, fire those through, and Kappa will be all over it as well. But we'll be also highlighting comments verbally through the Zwift Community Live platform as well.
Here they go, well and truly up the road, and it's looking
the
good.
Hoff's in there, Tim.
Looking really good at this stage, Greg. So yeah, we're nice and clean and away. So the Hoff is there away, putting some pressure. Don't hassle with the Hoff, as we say. Team Draft there coming right up on the outside, and Van Heusen, who we are, or I've definitely barbecued that name again as well. Huss in there, Boniface, Sproul, T-Day, Gleason. We'd love to see all these
Johnny
names.
Rocket.
We can see them on Zwift Power, but it's great to see them all representing their own kits now as well.
Yeah, amazing to see. What a huge pack, and have a look at the experience in this front group with the amount of Tron bikes, and you get a Tron bike by climbing 1 million kilometres uphill. Is that right, Tim?
No, no, you get
20,000.
Yeah, 50. You get 20 Tron bikes, but yeah, if you're that dedicated and that committed, Look out. Look
This
out.
is a huge, look at that, Tim, 241 starters. That is a record attendance this evening and this morning for the Coal Sports League race. And in the background there, we can see Bickley, definitely another athlete that we've highlighted before as well. Ryan McGee there, I can see in that front group as well, and all starting to bunch up. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw David Kimamato in there. Welcome along, mate. Great supporter of ours as well. Likes to share the stream. I think he's got a pretty deep connection there with Nathan and has applied to join the Coa Sports League. Came through late last night along with a couple of others, I should say. So that will be processed. We work Good Friday, mate. We just always go, great to see Stinkforce in there. Unfortunate surname, not sure if it's...
I don't know if it's legit,
shout
but
out.
geez, it's good.
But
so,
it is good. It is good indeed. Lionel Sanders, he's
here
back.
He is. The
Lionel's
big boy's back. It's good to see Lionel back in there. Had a bit of an issue earlier on in the morning with his kicker, but we won't go too far into that.
No, we will.
But we will.
Well, we will. We're going to throw Talbot right under the bus.
I wonder if Talbot's watching. He's put his hand up and taking responsibility. But great to see Lionel back in, and I have no doubt that he's going to light this race up. He might be a little bit angry. So look out for Lionel having a big attack. And we'll see if Gilbert's in the field too, Tim, if he can run him down again.
Yeah, well, I think this Titans Grove Com is going to suit someone like Lionel to bust it and then try and hold it. So took down a whole bunch of pros, obviously, recently in a big Zwift race and cutting his teeth here in the community as well, which is great to see. Isn't it great when you're out on Zwift at the moment and you can see some of these big stars rolling around, some of the big names in the World Tour as well, and you sort of, I don't know, you give them a bit of a flick of the elbow as you go past for a little bit of a wave using the app. So great to see Lionel Sanders back from Canyon ZCC. And we did see Reece Howell, of course, as well in our race last night, the team manager for Canyon ZCC. So, yep, good stuff. And John Lee Hooker, mate. Jay Lee Hooker. Who knows?
But let's not go there right now. So good to see Gilbert at the front of that pack as well. So he will definitely be in the mix for the finish. And this front pack team is absolutely massive, as we are going to bring that up on Zwift Live very shortly, and the Hoff's still holding in there too. Geez, we're being good with some names. Well, now one thing too, we've got Messiino in there too, Tim. He, I think he'll attest to it. He went a little bit too early last night, so on the same course, so he'll be back. And he has 6 Argentinian nationals that are obviously going to help him out. There's a little group, Tim, just about 3 seconds off the back of the main pack, so we'll see if those guys can bridge back across as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that would be amazing to see. We've got a funny comment. We'll try and push that through on the broadcast in a second. But yeah, really, as you say, Greg, tightly packed front pack, and then of course, interesting to see if there's any attacks. We've got a little breakaway there, maybe a second, but that'll be reined right in. But what you can, or maybe what you will see, is some coordination, of course, some coordination. So that'll be interesting to see whether the teams start to line up and maybe put some attacks off the front and then stick a plug, as you like to say, in the main group, which we have seen Canyon being able to do. Yes. They're getting pretty good at it, at dictating
they put the big proverbial plug straight in the front of the group, Tim, and look around and say to everyone else, well, we're not chasing that boy down, so if you want to do it, off you go, son. So I'm just having a quick look back there to this. We're just following a few riders in the C-grade group as well, which is great. And a big bunch of those guys absolutely getting it together as well, as they're about 30 seconds off this main pack at the moment.
Jay Dunphy there as well of AHDR, so good to see that as well. So we're just going to slide back here along the sand circuit and pick up some of the other riders. Of course, we've got over 240 riders in the event at the moment, and we're with Hieti in there. We've got some C and D graders going together, Jay Lasher, and we'll start to work our way around. So there's a bit of a view there, a good view there. I'm on the helicopter right now, and Cap is just giving me the flick again.
He's just
so
I
thought I'd have half a chance. Give me half a chance.
We're back with this. What group are we watching here? We're going to come back to the A grade group in the peloton here as well. So
these are the groups. These are races within races, Greg. You
Absolutely.
know, races within races. It's not all about the front. Of course, they light up some pretty big numbers. But these guys here, a pack of, say, 15, 20 cyclists out on course, giving it a red-hot go. Look for them in the sprint finish as well. So like I said, we'll try and drop back and pick up some of the bigger packs towards the back, because it's all relative to intensity, right? So this, mind you, C-grade here, 270 watts, holding a nice cadence. So we'll jump back towards the front And we might just go through for those who are tuning in for the first time and wondering what all these avatars are doing. There's a funny bit of inside news there, Greg.
Oh, here we go. So one of, what have we got here, Tim? One
That's
of the
from Pete
riders
Sinclair.
only dragged himself. Now, typical 16, we've all been 16 years of age, Tim, and when you're on a holiday, a life.
Not if
a
you're
life,
15.
Well, 15, 16, you're out of bed at 10 to 9 in the morning. What the hell is going on? That's what Tim does on most of his days off too. He just sleeps until about 8:30 and then gets up and sorts out the family. So there's Pozzolini too, Tim, just having a little push off the front. And our man there, Austin Van Housen, definitely at the front of that group as well. We highlighted him pre-race, and he is saluting and pushing to the front, pushing his new broadcast FTP, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt indeed, mate. So, geez, I was dealing with one of the great Poonamis as a father this morning.
Tell us more.
Don't you worry about that. You're talking about getting up early. Holy moly. Kids have talent, let me tell you. So, Amato in there, King, Fitzpatrick, and Conti. So we love those names, Greg. And this is really that's 2% gradient. Is that only time where sometimes we see an attack, but it looks like this is going to stay together, and they're going to keep their powder dry until we start to get into a lot more elevation. But you never know. They may attack over the next few minutes. But some good packs back through the field as well.
See Eric Lazelle back in the back there, Tim, in a new kit, in a white kit, and he's got a teammate right beside him. So from the Cannondale 4I team.
Okay.
So possibly a little kit change there. So we'll have to pick some of these guys up. Geez, it's good to see them all in their racing kits. It'll be nice and easy for us to pick them out as they come through. A little push off the front there from, looks like Conti, a bit further up the road there. So we'll get up to that rider in a minute, but that will definitely not stay away.
Talking about pushes off front, keep your eye on Lionel Sanders because he had a bit of a push off the front. So last week in the Warrior race, if you did happen to miss it, you can go back and grab the highlight, but he went early on that Watopia flat course, put the hammer down, and just at the line got pipped there by, I hope I got this right. Was it Gilbert?
Gilbert, yeah.
Or Giuliano?
No, Gilbert got him. Gilbert got him with the perfectly timed power up and came over the top of him and put 2 bike lengths into him to take that chockies.
I think someone said, and then they saw Sanders out there for another 2 hours just pushing the same power. So just pretty funny stuff. So Gilbert back in there, you'll see .luc_G. That is look at Gilbert, who has had great success out here in our Warrior race.
Yeah, one of the best, and definitely a big hitter on the Zwift stage at the moment. And you see Eric Hart in that front group as well. He's always thereabout. And the man out of Japan there, Taguchi, I have seen him in the field before as well. So a lot of these guys and girls backing up now week after week. And looks like Lionel's been working on his racecraft through the week, Tim, because he is sitting positioned right in the middle of that pack. So obviously a few tips coming through there from his teammates at Canyon ZCC.
We've got our first view now of Nathan's house, which we know and love all so well. So make sure you give Nathan a little bit of a clip for that, because I don't know how he managed to do that, get Zwift to model that house in here in the game. So look, I can't really give IT clips, can I, Kent Cross, because, I'm not that great. I think yesterday I had 4 goes at putting the one Instagram story up. And,
that was hilarious.
That was, so I can't really give Talbot Cox a little bit of a clip because I'm hopeless, but we will anyway. But it took me a few goes to put the Insta story up. And Kent, I think it's our first time welcoming Kent to the broadcast,
you're welcome,
mate. Welcome
Cappuccino.
along, mate.
We've just got to make sure
thanks,
are you awake? You're with us? You're all going good over there?
Just about. I had a pretty intense night of sleep, so I'm ready to go today. But this is certainly woken me up.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't you tell? He's pumped. He's up and
really
about.
Pumped.
He's absolutely up and about.
I'm on my seat jumping around. Can't you see?
About probably 3 or 4 minutes till we climb into some climbing action here on the San and Sequoia circuit. And before we do that, we're just going to have a little glass of water, just whet the appetite. I don't know about you, but last night just, took a little bit on the throat.
The hardest day of work I've done in years, Tim.
Let's just take a 30-second break and we'll be back with more action here on the Koa Sports Warrior Race in the community here on Zwift. still a bit flat that didn't get to go to Milan this year.
Oh, yeah, well,
flat.
maybe we can still go, Tim.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd
so,
be great. You
great,
go, I'll see you in a couple of years.
Great to see that BMC team machine on there, and I have one of them in my garage, which is on a very noisy indoor trainer at the moment that still needs some work and attention, but we'll get to that soon. Now, let's get Kappa to drop us back to this second group we're watching, which is a bloody big group, Tim. And,
yeah, it's a nice group.
And there's a whole heap of riders here. We've got A, B, and C grade riders in there, and I'm going to say that they're about 30 seconds to 40 seconds back from that main pack. The main pack now just hitting about 9 kilometres on the course, so and these guys now, you can see they're probably a little bit further than what we thought. Yep. They're coming past Nathan's holiday house at the moment, and just past the Clive Palmer banana.
Yeah, N. Ganser in there, S. Cochrane, D. Clark, S. Davies, Adachi, and C. Nugent as well. So a nice little group in there. We'll expect to see a really good finish in there, and we'll look to jump back and call that action, albeit I'm sure we'll get some attrition in this group as well as we go through a lovely view. I'm very good at flying the helicopter, as you can see. So let's jump back forward, because we expect to see some fireworks now as they're coming out of the sand section and up into the Grove. Gumbel working his way to the front. Eric Hart's in there, Greg. We know Eric Hart can hold strong.
Dropouts off the front.
Yeah, certainly Eric Hart can hold strong on the climb. So look for some orange lights here on the right-hand side. Gumbel, 9.5 watts per kilo. That's a definite attack here. Van Hughes in there, 10 watts per kilo now off the front, putting the hammer down. 656 watts, 146 beats per minute. Van Heusen now starting to stretch this front group out. Look for attrition, and let's see who can hang in. We might only have half a group left at the top of this comp.
Yeah, so Van Heusen pushing it off the front there, and definitely highlighted him. He's a new Zwifter, and with team dropout, so there'll be some coordination going on there, and he will rip it up this climb, no doubt about it. So good luck and go hard, the Silky Yak.
Sanders in there, about fourth wheel. He's in the Canyons EC team. Yeah, in the Pozzolini as well, and Ewer and Gilbert as well. So nice little tight front pack there. They've just got a second back, but here they come back through. So again, as such is the nature. We said pre-race, 20 people with a rider rating of under 200. So good luck trying to drop some of these big names, but we're still going to have at least 30 people in the finish, you'd think, Greg.
And yeah, great stuff. And you see Kenta Endo joins us every single week, Tim. He's right at the front of that group, and Boniface in there as well. So Gumbel, this is like this field, Tim. This is going to get lit up like a tinderbox any minute.
I'm glad you went with that. I thought you were going to say something else. So some really experienced Zwift riders as well. So we saw some really big names in an earlier race as well, but maybe not so experienced in Zwift. But we've got some really experienced guys with 300-400 Zwift race starts. So this is where it's at. This is where you want to learn your craft. This is where you want to make your mistakes and watch how the big guns of Zwift go about their business.
Yeah, so if you're holding onto those bars, hold on a little bit longer. It does flatten out just for a little bit before we start hitting that com. So you want to hold in this pack as long as you can. And Lionel, I did see Lionel there right at the front of the group. His heart rate was 138 beats a minute, if you don't mind, pushing 6 watts per kilo. So you've got Gleason coming through there to the front. These guys are all rolling to the front and then rolling off. So they're very experienced. They do not want to be pushing too much power. And as we see another rider there off the front, that looks like Pikey, Tim, going off the front in the Cole Sports jersey, having a little push, and he's always in the aero helmet.
Handy triathlete.
Yep, that's definitely him just coming back through the field now.
Handy triathlete indeed. So, and just a reminder, if you do join up to the Colour Sports League during this broadcast, you'll just like last week, you go in a random draw to win a 90-day code, and you can just apply that to your Zwift account and get 3 months for free, which would come in very, very handy. So if you've got a bit of FOMO, of course, this community race, anyone can join. We've been going for a long time in the community, but we do have a private race league. We've got some verified races where we have full visibility over Training Peaks data as well. We've got over 240 now verified athletes, over 400 people in the league, and that is building along like a steam train and going to fast hit 1,000 members, I would say, certainly in the next few months. So it's great to see people climbing on board, and we had about 38 people sign up just last night during the broadcast. So, yep, look out for that, but let's go to the action. We've just started the com here now, so will we see some early attacks, or pretty hard to attack, Greg, when you've got such as the quality of the riders, A-Boost and Villarano in there, Uberti, Unga and Kappa keeps pointing to the screen, and it is I don't know what he's pointing
I
at.
was pointing at the dinosaurs running next to it.
Oh, here we go. So we're talking about a bike race, and all Kappa wants to speak about is a little Tyrannosaurus Rex running along the side of the road.
They're running at 50 kilometres an hour. It's pretty impressive.
Shut the gate. So it's good to see. It's good to see Kappa. What about? Oh, look at all those birds. There's another dinosaur, Kappa. Yeah, but really good. But definitely thinned out a little bit in that front group as they came through those first.
Sproul's still there, Greg.
Yeah, and the Zwift kid just hitching back onto that group as well.
Commonwealth Bank shout out again, Greg.
No, not this week. I did look around to see if we had any bankers in the field, but I didn't find any.
Did you get any discounts during the week? Did you get a letter in the mail?
No, they knocked me back.
Not again.
So, yeah, that's
Not
right.
again.
Come see me in 5 years, they said.
Hassel the Hoff's in there, so some team members in there, Greg. Team members able to work together and maybe get that big steam train going along the late sections at that ancient ruins part, of course, of this finish.
Yeah, I did see a rider just drop right out of that group, so possibly a little bit of a technical issue there. They've just stopped on the middle of the road. You can just see them back there, so hopefully they get rolling again, but that's never good to see. And I hope it wasn't Lionel's iPad dying again.
I just want to put a shout out to Alex Side, who is still in the race.
Absolutely.
By this time, he's normally dropped out.
Kappa giving a little clip along the way.
He's still going.
He's still
so watch for
hanging
him because he loves the climbs.
He's Kappa. That's great. That's great.
That is good. So
as we start to go 4% up now, yeah, just trying to get back on. That's the dropouts rider trying to haul ass. Whoop, there we go, straight back onto the group. So you can see him starting to thin out now. So 3%, 4%. Eric Hart's still in there, starting to thin out.
Sanders definitely moving through to the front there. You can see him 8.1 watts per kilo coming across the top of that com. We thought about this. We thought that this would suit his style of racing. We've got Boniface alongside him and Gillibert there coming with the power up as well. I'm not quite sure who's paying that feather power. We'll try and pick that up. Of course, just taking a little bit of weight off in the green kit. Sorry, hard to recognise. So Gillibert there in the green kit.
So you got Gilbert and Boniface both in the green kit on the yellow and the blue Tron bike, and Pozzolini on the back of that group as well, just hanging in there on the black bike with the disc wheel. And a few others coming back across as well. And we're just following Lionel there. He's punched that heart rate up to 149, and we saw last week he topped out at about 158. So he's still got a little bit more petrol to give there.
Yeah, epic power there. So great view there of the group coming up, and there's that attrition. But there's some gaps there that will be closed. Aiden Sinclair comes across and closes the gap. That's a very smart move because these guys aren't going to let up. This is absolutely fair income on, and here they come, start to close that gap back across. So haven't lost as many as I thought, and that just goes to the heart of some of the riders in here. Not too long now until we come across the top of the com where they can either pick up a new power-up or just keep the one in the back pocket that they already have.
Yeah, probably a good one if you've got the old draft bust or the aero helmet. It's probably the ones you want to keep for this ride. You do not want to feather power-up at the top of this com for this sprint home, because the likes of Gilbert, Boniface, Sproul and these sorts of guys know how to use their power-ups like no one else in this business. So they often, here they go now, Tim, straight across the top of that com. And we've got Uberti taking the chockies as he goes across the top. Aiden Sinclair in third wheel. And the great Chappelli's back, Tim. Chappelli's back in there as well. So Ken thinks he's a 10-pin bowler, but he was actually a famous cricketer in Australia.
I think we definitely got a match, not a match burnt, but we certainly saw an attack there of 4 to 5 riders just coming up the late part. But they shut it down. They bridged that back across. So sometimes we have seen it go down to 5, 6 riders and then they're away. But hey, we are absolutely here with at least another 30 riders again. So great to see. This is going to make for a barnstorming finish on this Koa Sports Warrior race.
Yeah, huge front gap and pack, and all of those riders we highlighted pre-race, and you can see a lot of them there, very experienced getting into that aero tuck position as they come down at 5% downhill, and you can see Sprowley, we're watching there at the moment, only pushing 2 watts a kilo to stay with the group.
And watch for in about 60 seconds time that next little ramp, that 6 to 8%er that comes up. So that's also hard because your heart rate hasn't come quite down enough. It's still, look at Sproul here, 178 beats per minute, hasn't quite come down, and then it's just another little punch in the face before it starts to flatten off. So you've still got to hang in there. There's still some work to do. And will we see an attack here from the likes of Sanders, the Big E, and of course Endo? And we saw Gillibert. He's off the front again, Gillibert. So doing a little bit of work here at this stage of the race.
Yeah, and Van Housen burning up his power up to come back to the group there and just rolling going straight through to the front. So he's burned his power up very, very early. So that's going to hurt him on the finish line, but he needed it to get back into the group.
Sinclair there, 9.3 watts per kilo. He's coming through to the front. Ungura as well, 10 watts per kilo, and Downing 4.8 watts per kilo. Here's that kick right now. Boniface.
So, got dropped there. Now I'm bringing up the rear in like 63rd. I kind of let my guard down for a second and the split opened up. I pinned it, but it wasn't enough. So now the new goal is to win the sprint from this group. There's all these pulses here. The road goes up for like a split second. What I like to do is just stand for the uphills, pump it out, and then sit again. Kind of gain a couple places. Just trying to do that. There's so many of them. Let's go on and on. All right, and that's all the ripples. bad. I think we're going to make this gap anyway, so really no point in trying to attack. Oh man, off day. Even my dog knows I'm messed up. Holy smokes. That was not a good run. But I got, you can't win them all, and you know, like, yeah, I just wasn't myself today, but that's okay. You're not gonna step up to the plate every single time you race, and it's whew, that split was violent. And I just felt bad like the whole time, just even trying to put out like functional threshold, like just didn't feel good. So yeah, it happens. And anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a nice night. I'm gonna go and get a long cool down and try to recover.